Hi crochet friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Stefania and today is our 200 subscriber special. We reached 200 subscribers just before the end of last year, which is really amazing considering just a month and a half before we had our 100 subscriber special. During that special, we made this flower tapestry with 100 flowers representing the first 100 subscribers. For the 200 subscriber special, I wanted to do something similar. So as this community grew to 200, I started making even more flowers. During our last subscriber celebration, I asked if you wanted to see a tutorial for how I make these flowers, and there was some interest, so I'll include that tutorial in this video. If you're liking this content and haven't subscribed already, hit that subscription button to be included in the 300 subscriber special. With all of that out of the way, let's jump into the tutorial. For this tutorial, you will need yarn, a crochet hook that works with the yarn, a pair of scissors, and a yarn needle. We'll begin by taking our yarn and making a magic circle. We're going to put 6 single crochet stitches into this magic ring. We're then going to insert our hook into the first stitch before pulling on the tail to tighten the circle. We're then going to do 6 increases. So we're going to put a single crochet stitch into that first stitch and another single crochet stitch into that same stitch. Continue all the way around the circle until you have 12 stitches. You can go over the tail of your magic circle so you don't have to weave that in later. Once you've got 12 stitches in your circle, insert your hook into the first stitch and make a slip stitch. We're then going to chain 2 and then put a double crochet stitch into the same stitch that we slip stitched into. So yarn over, insert your hook into the first stitch, yarn over, pull a loop through, yarn over, pull the loop through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. We're then going to put a double crochet stitch into the next stitch. Chain 2 and slip stitch into the same stitch where we placed our double crochet. We're then going to slip stitch into the next stitch and chain 2. Put a double crochet stitch into the same stitch, a double crochet stitch into the next stitch, chain 2, and slip stitch into the same stitch as the second double crochet. We're then going to slip stitch into the next stitch and continue the pattern all the way around the flower. The flowers that I'm making have 6 petals, so I started off with 6 single crochet stitches in my magic circle. If you want more or less petals on your flowers, start with a different number of stitches in your magic ring. For example, if you wanted 5 petals in your flower, you would start with 5 single crochet stitches in your magic ring and then do 5 increases, giving you 10 stitches in your circle. After you've slip stitched into the last stitch, I like to then insert my hook into the first stitch again and do another slip stitch. Pull a bit of a loop, then from the back of the flower, reach into that same stitch and pull that loop through into the back of the flower. We can then cut the tail and take our yarn needle to weave it in. Weave your needle into some of the stitches, then thread the tail through the eye of the needle, and pull it through. You can continue weaving in the tail, or just take your scissors and cut the tail short. And there you go, your little flower decal is complete. I'm going to go ahead and make a bunch more of these, so let's get started with that. While I'm making these flowers, I wanted to take the time to reflect on my YouTube journey so far. I've been making videos for 1 year now, and I'm really proud of how far I've come. I think that if I were to go back and talk to past me, even from a couple years ago, she wouldn't believe it if I told her we had over 200 subscribers on YouTube. I've been wanting to make videos for a long time now, but was intimidated by the content creators I watched. Their content was so good, there's no way I could live up to that standard. Especially in my 20s, I dealt a lot with perfectionism, to the point where I let the fear of not being perfect stop me from starting something in the first place. It took a lot of work to move past this fear and accept that I didn't have to be perfect. I realized it wasn't realistic to compare myself to creators that had thousands and millions of subscribers who had been making content for years. It was more realistic to look back at their early videos and see how far they've come, or to look at other small creators and admire their willingness to start. I tried to imagine myself in a couple years' time, looking back at my first videos and reflecting on how I improved as I made more and more content. Even though I'm just 1 year in now, I'm already feeling some of these improvements. I don't know if they come across in the videos yet, but behind the scenes, I've really felt the video making process become a bit easier, and I'm able to put my ideas into reality. Sure, I still see plenty of room to keep improving, but it's become a lot easier to allow myself to make mistakes. There's a couple videos I've made that I wish had gone differently, but if I had kept working on them until they were quote-unquote perfect, they would never have been released. Rather than obsess over the things I wish were different, I take these moments as learning opportunities and find a lesson that I can carry into the next video. I'm still learning to work through my perfectionism, and oftentimes have to remind myself that to make mistakes is to be human. We are not machines programmed to endlessly churn out identical products. It's in the imperfections of what we make that our humanity shines through, an opportunity to learn and grow. I know that sounds a bit cheesy, especially against the backdrop of me making another 100 identical flowers, but I hope that this is a lesson that resonates with some of you and can help you to start the projects that have been put off due to fear. Now that I've made 100 flowers and woven in all the tails, it's time to attach them all. As much as I like the look of the square tapestry from the last 100 subscriber special, I think that attaching all of the flowers in a single chain will make it a bit more flexible for decorating my backdrop. So I'm going to do that now by creating a long chain and attaching each flower every 5 stitches or so. I started with a chain of 20 on the end, just so that I have something so I can secure the edge of the string once I'm done. When I attach a flower, I'm going to go in from the front side of the flower, go through the middle of one of the petals, and simply slip stitch it into space. Thank you so much to each and every one of you who have joined this growing community. It means so much to me. I know I'm just in the beginning stages of my content creation journey, and I really appreciate the vote of confidence that each subscription makes. I'm still learning and growing as a content creator, so if you have any suggestions for improvement or the different types of content you'd like to see, leave those in the comments section below. By chaining 5 in between each flower, we start to get a look like this. Here we are with the first 10 flowers. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. Now that I've got all of these flowers made into a chain, Let's decorate the backdrop. And here we are! The flower garland is complete. I really love the way this project turns out and the flair it adds to my background. I really love this tapestry that I made for the first 100 subscribers, but upon completing this project, I'm honestly considering reworking the first 100 flowers to make another garland like this. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you've made it this far and haven't yet subscribed to this channel, hit that subscription button so you're a part of the 300 subscriber special. I can't thank each and every one of my subscribers enough for their vote of confidence in my content. Your engagement really keeps me motivated in making new videos. If you like this kind of video, leave a like and hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out a lot. I make new videos every week, including check-in videos, crochet tutorials, and other craft content. If you have any ideas for types of content you'd like to see, leave those suggestions in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!